Alright guys, so what we're going to do in these next few steps are going to be a little bit hard to see on here, okay? So the first thing you're going to do is using an eraser, and you might need a bigger eraser. I don't seem to have one. Let's see. All right, here we go. So what you're going to do is you're going to erase a circle shape back here. So this is going to be a high shine spot right here, and it's just in the eye. And I know that is a little bit hard to see, and the camera keeps moving. Okay. So I know this is kind of hard to see, but let me lift it up. So right here, I did some erasing, okay? And then the next thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna erase back and forth like this in a half circle motion. So you're going from here to here, erasing in a half circle motion. Okay, hang on. Okay, sorry about that, I adjust my camera. All right, so you're gonna do an eraser, up and down, back and forth, going this way. Now I know it's kind of hard to see, but it'll make more sense in a minute. So the next thing you're gonna do, using your pencil, is we're gonna work on the inner part of the eye today. And so what you're going to do is you are going to sketch around the edge of the eye to where it kind of looks like eyeliner. It's my best description for it. And you're going to want to go and then make it nice and dark, but don't, see how I'm still holding my pencil about halfway back, and I'm just sketching it so that it looks darker. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing to this part of the eye. And I'm sketching that in also to be darker. And then I'm going to sketch up here at the top. This is supposed to be very dark. So start with the same darkness, and then you want to also make it lighter as you go out. So I start with a heavier pressure up here, and I make it lighter as I go out. And I take this shading right to where I've erased and along here slightly. Okay. This part right here is supposed to be pretty dark. Now the person that I'm copying this from, they used a charcoal pencil. And typically in class, we would also be using a charcoal pencil, but since we're at home, we're not going to be able to do that. So what I do is I just build up layers, and as you can see, I'm moving around the part where there is the erased circle part. So I'm just going around. It's a little bit darker in the corner of the eye. I go around the circle that I've created. So it should look something like that. We do want it a little bit darker over here, so you can press down a little bit harder. And that is going to stay pretty dark, so that's all right if you go closer in with your pencil to some of the darker areas. Same thing with here. This area here is going to be pretty dark. So it's all right if you go back and you make it visibly darker. This space up here is also a little bit darker, but not too dark. Okay, so now the next thing you're gonna do is, and I don't have my blending stump here. No, I didn't grab it today. What you're gonna use is either your finger or a tissue. Let me go grab a tissue. Okay. So what I did is I took a tissue and I folded it up into a square. And I'm just gonna go through, and all we're doing is blending this area out. So it blends a little bit better using a tissue as opposed to just your finger. But if you don't have tissues, it's fine. So I'm going over the areas that I know need to have shading. Okay. And I've blended it all out. See how dirty your finger would have gotten? It's fine if you decide to use your finger. I know some artists who just prefer that. So I'm trying to leave the area white that is supposed to be white. And then we're gonna go through and do some adjustments in a moment. So you can kind of see where we're gonna have a shine area here, a shine area here. And we are going to do a lot of working in this area, so it's not a huge deal if you smear it out too much, because we're going to go back and rework that. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is, this is where you're going to draw some hard lines in the eye. Again, this is going to look more like eyeliner, so you're going to want to hold your pencil closer. And you're going to very, very carefully, and you're sketching these lines. You're still sketching these lines on here, but you are making sure you're following the lines that you like, because these lines are not going to be erased. They may be softened with blending, but these lines are 100% going to be there when we finish our project. Now, you might notice there is a glare on the darker pencil marks from my pencil. That is because we are using a regular pencil instead of a drawing pencil. Drawing pencils are slightly softer, and you don't have to apply as much pressure to get darker colors. Okay, so you want kind of like the ring around the eye. So again, it's going to look like eyeliner, but it needs to look that way. And then the iris, however you choose to do it, needs to be as dark as you can make it. Now, when you are doing your darker areas, and if you're not using drawing paper or copy paper, you're just using regular notebook paper, you can rip it at this point. So you need to be extra careful that you are doing this in layers. Okay, I'm still going over this in layers to make that happen. All right, so just in case the glare is too much, you can see I've made a dark outline around the eye, and I've created the shadow lines, okay? The next thing we're gonna do is, excuse me, we're gonna do a little bit more erasing, and then we're gonna start working on the details in the eye. And we're gonna work on the details in the eye tomorrow, but we're gonna do a little bit more erasing. So we're just gonna lightly erase here, again, in the same spot we had the shine before. Just gonna erase it so it stands out a little bit more. And it is pretty circular. And then again, we're gonna make this area here a little bit lighter. Not too much lighter, but just enough to where it kind of stands out. You can see that this area is lighter than the rest of the eye. And it's okay if you go up a little bit higher with this erasing. You can decide how you want it to look. So I'm going up a little bit higher, a little bit more closer to halfway. And then I'm gonna just clean up the edge a little bit so it's a little bit smoother looking. A little bit more natural, like an actual like shine. I'm just lightly erasing this direction because I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna blend this out more than what it was. Okay, so I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna very, very gently blend these areas in. So as you can see, when you do that, you can see how that makes a difference in the tones that we see. Now I'm just gonna go lightly around in that part. I'm gonna erase just right here. So we have a high area of shine. And then I'm just going to just blend it gently on the bottom to try to get rid of the harsher edges. And again, go back through here just a little bit, just to blend. I'm just trying to blend these areas out here. Okay, and so that's where we're going to stop for today. We're going to start adding detail in the eye tomorrow, and that does take quite a bit to work on. Don't get discouraged if your eye doesn't look like mine or doesn't turn out the way that you think it should. Remember, we're just learning drawing techniques, and it's okay if it's not perfect. All right, I'll see you tomorrow, guys.